150 years ago, the Industrial Revolution triggered massive innovation that got us off horseback and into Henry Ford's Model T. It only took mass-produced fossil fuel guzzling cars a couple of decades before it was possible for everyone to own one. Thankfully, we're replacing steel and fuel for silicon and batteries. And after taking over our pockets, offices and homes, the digital revolution is only just getting started. This episode, we meet Amanda Gilmore from Uber, the company that has literally changed how we get around. And they're just getting started. Welcome, Amanda, the future of transport.
Thanks for having me.
So you've flown and driven and walked all the way from New Zealand to join us today. Now, we understand Uber as pick up our phone, we'll get a car. It's much bigger than that, right? Your company has a much broader vision than just what we understand of today.
Yeah, that's very true. So our mission really is to ignite opportunities by setting the world in motion, and we're really pivoting towards thinking about ourselves as a platform. Uber is a platform, and we want to facilitate all modes of movement and transport beyond just being in a car.
What's the vision for autonomous driverless vehicles that Uber has?
It's a really exciting space. It's something that we've been working really hard on, and we're still investing quite heavily. And there's a really grand future ahead of us where everyone's moving around in autonomous vehicles. But I think the road to get there, there's still a fair amount of development that needs to happen.
So what is holding back fully autonomous vehicles on our road? Is it an ethical thing, or is it a regulation thing, which those two are obviously directly linked, or is it a technical thing? Are we just not there yet?
I think it's a little bit of all of those.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kind of competing factors at play and things that governments, tech, transport officials need to think about if we're really going to bring that future to life. But it's interesting to think about, like, what's the road to get there, and that's something that at Uber we're thinking about every day.
And it's a case of when, not if, right?
Exactly.
So, Sam, I'm a business owner in transport and logistics. What's the impact of autonomous vehicles within the ecosystem going to be on me?
So you're going to get a lot of cost reductions. The efficiency that we gain from transport on demand and autonomy is going to be very significant in terms of labour saving, but I also think it's going to be really significant as we move towards electrification. It's foreseeable that technology that powers all transport will be free. It'll be free energy, powered by the sun, battery oriented, because these things have an exponential improvement. It's not just little incremental improvements in efficiency of the combustion engine, it leaps ahead.
Look, it might sound like the Jetsons, but it's not. We know that in the next several years we are going to see humans pretty confidently fly around in essentially flying taxis or drones. Uber Elevate is an enormous vision, a huge concept.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Like, it's incredible that it's going to come to life in a few years, to be honest. So Uber Elevate's our vision for transforming the world through aerial ride sharing. So essentially these flying vehicles that can take off vertically and land vertically as well. And so right now you order your Uber through an app, but in the future you would order an Uber Air. And we see a world where there's these skyports that are kind of peppered all over major cities where you can access Uber Air, and they'll fly 2,000 to 3,000 feet in the air above ground and go about 320 kilometers per hour. So we took the idea of there's so much congestion on our roads and we can't keep up with that. Let's just bring it to the skies instead.
The world that we live in cities and suburbia, the last 100 years that Henry Ford invented, it's a flat world, right? There's no dimensionality, it's flat.
Gravity sucks us down.
It sucked us down onto the earth, right?
Yeah, we think, our plans for Uber Air is to be testing flights in 2020 and have commercial vehicles
2020
by
like 2023.
Yeah, it literally is.
It's 2020 isn't that time in the future. It's some movie you watched 20 years ago. It's like what?
Yeah.
Let's imagine a world where there's a skyport up there and you need to catch a plane back to one of those medieval jets back to New Zealand.
Yep.
What's that going to be like for a user?
Yeah, so right now from Melbourne CBD to the airport, it's 19 kilometers. On average, it takes 55 minutes in an Uber X. I'm sure you guys have experienced that. In an Uber Air, we're talking 5.1 minutes in the air and then a 9-minute end-to-end journey.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a trip, let's be honest. All this sort of stuff radically changes how much, how long, how far, all those fundamentals. So everything will be impacted. I mean, out of all the trends we've covered in, all the industries we've covered in the radar report, I reckon the most urgent is transport. So as a company in transport and logistics, what are some actions that we think they can take to future-proof themselves?
I think the big thing is to reconsider what normally might be a 10-year investment. So if you're investing in something within the logistics realm that usually has a long lead payoff, got to be careful because we're about to get a step change in technology. So we have to rethink some of those investments before we make them and look at them very closely.
What do you reckon, Amanda?
You should also be thinking about your technology investments. Technology is becoming more open and integrated every single day, and so it's really important to future-proof for those technology changes as well.
And I think just coming up and having a look at your business from 30,000 feet and going, how are we moving our products and our people? Are there better ways that we can start doing it today? And just having that mindset of being prepared to look back and then actually look at things that we can apply today will set us up, and that mindset will take us into both of those evolutions of what we're about to go through in the future of transport.